What is going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. I'm about to attempt the speed run marathon because, my God, there's like at least 20 albums that have come out just today. All released on Friday, November the 3rd. This day will go down in remembrance of this thousands of albums that come out today. So either way, very excited. If you have the chance to come hang out, would love to see you. Mark, what's going on? Thank you for hanging. But I've been patiently waiting to listen to this album, and couldn't be more stoked. I love Silent Planet. Just been on the Silent Planet train. If you know the channel, you know I love Garrett. Shout outs. He's been on the channel. It was a couple years ago, but would love to have him back on again. And I tried, but I know they're not taking press right now, so hopefully next time. Would love to have you, Garrett, of course. But yes, doing this one. Dying Wish has a new album that came out today. Doing that as well. Shout outs to the homies in Mugshot. They're like a hardcore, metalcore band. Going to be checking that out. Shout outs to my Australian homies, North Road. Going to be doing that later. Night Rider, another fantastic metalcore band, released an album EP today. Youth Fountain, post-hardcore, pop punk type stuff. So I got a couple videos, if that's all I'm gonna say here. But I digress. I feel like this is highly rated. I feel like everybody's been extremely stoked about this album, myself included. So I'm going to, it's finally time. We're going to take a look into it. Mark said, at work, but I had to see your reaction. This is one of my albums of the year for me. We'll be in and out because of work. Well, Mark, I appreciate you coming and hanging out in the chat. Always much love. Shout outs to Mark. But yeah, been really excited about this. I have listened to Collider, Antimatter, Signal, Anuki. And yeah, those are the singles that I've listened to. So I think we got to start off with the title track, or not title track, the first track off the album, which is Lights Off the Lost Coast, and let's just jump into it. I'm stoked. I know this is gonna be an intro. I'm already feeling it. So we might just roll into Offworlder, because that'll technically be the first song. Ready to get my socks blown off. I also ate way too much Taco Bell. I don't know if anybody knows what that feeling's like, but too much. It's the cheat day, you know? All right, we're getting it. We're getting the vibes. I'm getting ready, you know. All right, guys, this is track 2, Offworlder. This is sounding beefy. Ooh, I thought they were going to hit me with a breakdown. Okay. Ooh. Let's go. Oh, this is alright. This is nuts. I'm feeling it. Oh. This is so sick. This is already so groovy. Ooh, I like that synth. So sick. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I know. Ooh, let's go. Oh my God. Oh, this just hits. I love this. Oh, can't. Talk about a song to start this record off with. Oh my God. This was Offworlder off of Silent Planet's newest album, Superbloom. If you'd like what you heard so far, which is literally 2 tracks, you can, check the links in the description. Go pick it up. Go support the guys. Oh my God. This is like chaotic, and I'm all about it. I know that they really tried to go for more of that like electronic sound in this album. Just with the singles that they release, a lot of their focus I think has a lot to do with their experimentation into more electronic layering, a lot more of a vibe, which I've always feel like they've done really well. But I think in this capacity it may have been a little bit different. So really enjoyed this song specifically because I think this one definitely integrates more of that synth work, plus the way that the heaviness of Mitch's guitar tone, plus like the heaviness of the riffing just meshes up super well together. So I absolutely love that. I would also say as well as that, I think Garrett sounds fantastic. I've really enjoyed him throughout all of the singles, but he just sounds so brutal. Like there's something about it that I even feel like post Everything Was Sound, he has just gotten so much better as a screamer. Like the tonalities that he's able to bring out, like his low end sounds super tight, really aggressive, and I love that. And I think he does a really fantastic job of integrating that more so into the sound. So gotta say big ups to that. And Alex, I love the way he's kind of incorporating a lot of that like polyrhythm, a lot of the ghost notes in the snare hits. Super sick, along with the cymbal hits. It's not like crazy, and even some of the fills that he throws in, really tasteful. Doesn't feel like it's over the top. It really flows well with the vibe of the song. But I would say, again, the strongest point of this song specifically that I've been really enjoying is their incorporation of more like synths, more layering, more depth. And I think that this does a really great job of laying that out super well. Also got to say, I'm pretty sure they went with Daniel Bronstein for this album. And listen, he already did the Spirit Box one, which I did check out last night. But his contributions to like the metal core like scene of music right now, 10 out of 10. I love his stuff. So big shout outs to Dan Bronstein. But this song, fantastic. Just the perfect like energy, the things that you would expect from Silent Planet. I feel like this one very much delivers on that. And then Lights Off the Lost Coast is just a really nice like introduction. I think it flows really well into Offworlder, which they've always really kind of done throughout their discography. So it's nice to see that's kind of the continuation of what their sound that they're going for. But either way, we are going to move it on to the next one. Is track 3, which is Collider. This one I have listened to already, and I did a reaction video for, but I don't know if I ever put it out. So you can check that out. Maybe I did do it. I don't know. I don't remember what I did. Honestly, I'm just so stoked that this whole album is out and I can listen to the entire thing. So we're going to take a listen to Collider. If you have not listened to this, you can jump in right now. So we're going to get into Collider. Also, I see that there's like a noticeable lag on my webcam, so I'll be right back. I'll switch my screen out and you'll be set. So okay, that's better. I saw myself lagging. Was not good. I'm really loving Garrett's cleans, man. So sick. Oh, we're getting it, baby. The pit's gonna go off with this song, if it hasn't already.
Tear us apart.
Ooh, that little drum shuffle from Alex at the end. So tight. All right, guys, that was track 3, Collider. I still love this song. I probably had listened to all 4 of these singles a ton. I put a lot of time into these singles. But this one was really great. I think the 3rd single that they wind up releasing before the album dropped, I think was a really great I think it was a really great midpoint to show off not only Garrett's clean singing, but I also think it gave a nice dichotomy of what I feel like they've typically done in the past, which it has like really strong choruses, having Garrett kind of, pull in a lot of those verses, and then obviously a really nice breakdown towards the end, and finish it out with like a really solid chorus. And I think that this one, with Garrett mainly doing the clean vocals. So I really love that. I think they do a really great job of. I think Garrett does a great job of managing both of those things super well, and I think it's oftentimes I find it a little bit difficult to obviously lose a pretty big component of the band being Thomas. Obviously best of luck to him. I know he's being a dad now, so that's awesome and congrats to him. But it was definitely something that, and I know I've mentioned it in the reaction video, it was something that I was a little unsure about. And I feel like a lot of Silent Planet fans, I feel like we're kind of in the same boat of like Thomas is such a integral part to what they do, and how we were kind of going to go from it. But I really kind of think I would say that they definitely kind of drowned out a lot of the hate that I feel like they may have gotten or maybe not have gotten by putting out a song like this where Garrett is doing all of the vocals. So I think this one is a great representation for the album, and just obviously showing off a lot of his more like higher to mid range, which is really sick. Again, very similarly to Offworlder, I love a lot of the strong like electronic influences, a lot of the synth work, a lot of the layering going on in this track is really well done. And I think the songs feel like a really strong cohesive unit, and I think it has a lot to do with the way that it's produced and the way it's structured out. But yeah, really great. There's some really awesome moments from Alex again on the drumming. He just has a clean way of integrating a lot of fun little fills in there that keep your ears a little more interested, at least from my perspective. And then as well as that, again, Mitch holding it down on like the low end and just like, again, doing some really great guitar work, and then Garrett, again, fronting both the screams and the cleans, I think is really great. Mark did say that some of his favorites off the album are Euphoria, Dreamwalker, Nexus, and Superbloom. So we got Euphoria and Dreamwalker next, so I'm pretty stoked to check those out. But yeah, Collider I think was a really good single, and I always try to figure out whether or not I feel like the singles are a good fit for what you can expect from the rest of the album. And I think so far, at least in terms of the singles that they've released, I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of mapping that out for people who are a little bit unsure of this album. So we are going to move it on to track 4, which is Euphoria. So let's get into it. Okay. Ooh, I like the vocal switch up. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, let's go. Oh. got a great groove to it. Nice, like the build up. Oh, okay. Oh. Woo! Yes. Oh, bro. Ooh, that low end. Ooh, they keep down tuning it. That's so sick. This is a good one. I'll stop it there just in case there's a little extra. But guys, that was Euphoria, track 4 off of Silent Planet's new album, Superbloom. If you like it, what you hear so far, check the links below. But I really enjoy this one a lot. I can actually draw a lot of comparisons to, I feel like, Spirit Box. I feel like they definitely took a little bit of that approach. I think even vocally, kind of some of the vocal patterns feel very reminiscent of like some of the melodies I feel like I would hear from Spirit Box, which I don't feel like is too far off because, as I mentioned before, they went with Dan Bronstein, who has also and has done a lot of Spirit Box stuff. So I wouldn't be too surprised if those things kind of interweave in that way. I don't think it's like tit for tat the same thing, but I do think that I do feel like there is definitely some correlation there, certainly. But I really enjoyed Garrett's clean vocals a lot in this track. I was really surprised with some of the melody choices, especially towards the end of that like chorus where he kind of goes up into more of a like melodic like major tone, which I was a little surprised about. I thought he would have definitely maybe gone like down or like more in a minor tone. So that was a little bit surprising, and I think that was a nice definitely a different segregation towards the song, which I really appreciate. Breakdown was super gnarly in this track as well too. Just the way that the down tune on this album is ridiculous. I also like at the end of the song they really kind of like pitched down each part towards the end. I thought that was really sick. But yeah, this one was a little bit more, again, I feel like all of these songs are playing into each other very well. They do have a cohesive sort of nature to them, but I think this one definitely showed off more of Garrett's melodic characteristics, especially more so in the like falsetto and like higher range vocals, which I really appreciate. Definitely something I don't think I had gotten from Collider, where I feel like a lot of the higher vocals that he was doing on that song was more like pushed or more forced. This one feels a little bit more like airy, a little bit more ethereal. So I do like that changeover. I thought that was really cool. And I think it brings a different kind of energy to the chorus and like the overall like ethereal sort of vibe that I feel like they were going for, but also like really brutal, and some of the guitar work, some of the drumming work was really sick. But yeah, this one's a great one. Certainly, I feel like I have to probably listen to a little bit more of the album, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one's pretty up there, because it is a massively heavy album, heavy song, also heavy album thus far. But I think also this one was probably the most melodic of the songs that we've heard thus far. So very cool. Like that trend, and I'm curious if Dreamwalker will continue on that same sort of pathway. So we will get into track 5, which is Dreamwalker. So let's give it a listen. I'm dead wrong. Oh, that groove. Oh. Okay. Interesting. It's like that pitch scream. Nice little melodic section in the middle. This riff is gnarly. Alex going off. Woo! Ooh. Oh, that was awesome. So sick. Oh, okay. We're getting something. I'm calling it. Had me. Oh! Oh my god. Bro. They're really gunning for album of the year this year, I'm telling you what. Crazy. All right, guys, that was Dreamwalker. Man, this one was way different what I was going to expect. So I love this one a lot. I think this one might be my current favorite right now, up there with Offworlder. But man, this one was great. Very different. I think they definitely switched up the structure. The structure was completely different from any of the songs that I've listened to thus far. Even the singles. They start off with this like really gnarly heavy riff. They get super heavy. Then they kind of drop off and they hit you with this like I don't even want to know. I don't even know what to really call it, but I guess it would be more so kind of like a hybrid of like the pitch screaming that Sam Carter does, but also like singing in some ways, but then also going back to the pitch scream. Very sick stuff. I think again, I love what Garrett is doing vocally to just challenge himself, and I think that this one probably must be a bitch to play live. I mean, obviously they haven't played this one yet, but I imagine this may or may not be played live, and I feel like this one is going to be one of those more difficult ones vocally, I would say, which I love. I think he's really stretching his prowess, and I love that. As well as that, there was like a gnarly breakdown in the middle of the song. Then you have like this like chant kind of yelling thing in the chorus, and then they just kind of switched it up. Like the whole setup had me a little thrown, if I'm going to be honest. Like I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to change up in this song that feels different? And this one, in the midst of all of the other songs that have been great, I think this one definitely stands out amongst the bunch right now, just because I think it is so like heavily varied in terms of like sound, but also like the heaviness of the track. There are some moments where a lot of those like distorted guitars gets pulled out, and like you get to focus in on some like really interesting singing parts, or like that really gnarly breakdown with like a really kind of benty, kind of riffy, like goodness sort of guitar riff that Mitch is putting together, and then Alex on top of that just going ham on the drums. I love that. Just was a really kind of it was really kind of just like, at least from my perspective, it was just kind of like, let's just do what we want to do. We're just gonna go ham. We're gonna do it, and this is the song that came to be. So love that. I think they really brought a lot of different interesting energy to this track, and I think again sets it apart from all the other songs that I've heard thus far. So really enjoy this one. Definitely a standout track, and one that I feel like you should listen to, that is in the singles. Which, speaking of which, we are going to move into track 6, which is Antimatter. This is the first, well, yeah, I guess it would be the first single because Signal was released after, but Antimatter was the first one, and they released a music video with it. And I know a lot of people were very on the fence about this track, so but I have completely fell in love with this track a ton. But I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to get into Antimatter if you haven't given this a listen yet. I love that, like, really, like, electronic drum kit riff. It's so tight. As soon as this guitar kicks in, I'm already feeling it. Oh man, so sick. I like this like rotary thing going on. Really sick. All right, guys, that was Antimatter from. I was gonna say Spirit Box, but I totally was gonna. I was gonna fuck that up. I shouldn't have said that. Silent Planet's new album, Superbloom. You can check the links below if you'd like to go pick it up. It is out now, so go support the guys. They have a bunch of cool stuff. But either way, this song was the first song to release. It was the single, and much like I feel like most people, was very interested to hear what they were going to be putting out, and I think this was a very interesting departure from their previous album with When the End Began. And I heard some of their songs. They did a tour, and they played a couple like demo songs. I actually think I have the live set up when I saw them more recently. I didn't see him, unfortunately, on that Asbury tour. I would have loved to go out to Jersey to go see that show, but they were playing like new stuff when I saw them the time before they were in the area. And I don't know, I believe they were playing actually Signal, and I had already heard that one a little bit, and that one was super heavy. So I was like, oh man, are they just going like really heavy, full on heavy? Because Tom wasn't in the band at the current time. He was at home, and so kind of a lot of things in the air. And they released this song, and I was like, man, they must love North Lane, because this definitely has a lot of like North Lane inspiration. I wouldn't say that is specifically any sort of slander towards North Lane or Silent Planet at all, but I do feel like melodically it definitely has a lot of that sort of synth presence that a lot of North Lane tracks have. I would say this whole album has like a lot of great like synth presence that probably is evocative of bands like Spirit Box, bands like North Lane, bands that use a lot of synth in their production. And I feel like this is not much the same, and I think that adds a lot of depth to some of these tracks. More specifically, this one, I think a lot of the really cool parts about this song are actually the electronic elements of the track. I love the way that the synth kind of flows in and out. Like even there's some parts with like, I think there's like a little bit of strings, but like it's like super like stretched out or something in the production where they have it set up like very interestingly, and it's mixed well with like the chugs of the guitar. So I love that. I thought that was really sick. But I think it adds this really kind of cool like industrial sort of feel that I was very surprised that they would incorporate into their new sound. So it was very interesting. And one of the, I don't know if it's like the breakdown or possibly the bridge, but there's this cool kind of like rotoscoping sort of like effect going on like musically where you can kind of hear it working in 360. So I really like that. I didn't really pick up on that on the reaction video, but listening to this song a ton at the gym, I did pick up on some really odd things that I wasn't really sure about, but now that I'm actively listening, I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. So there's a lot of cool like musical exploration going on in this track that I was very surprised about, and I think this song specifically is the most like synth and electronic focused. I think if you took that out, the song would not. I feel like it wouldn't have as much of an impact. Not that I feel like the song was bad by any stretch, but if you really kind of remove that, it's a lot of like good palm muting and like a lot of great chugging moments. And there's, obviously some like lead guitar parts that Mitch adds in, and obviously some like more chord phrasings, but it would kind of feel a little bit bare bones, I'd argue, without that sort of synth element. And I know Alex also adds some like drum pads as well on this track too. So I think it does fill out that sort of sound that I feel like most people would expect from Silent Planet now going further. And I think this song does a really great job of kind of accentuating those sorts of sounds and thought processes. So really enjoyed this one. I think I came around to this one a ton after doing the reaction video. I think at first I was kind of like, this is good, I like it, but I don't know where they're gonna go. And now, after having listened to most, if not all, of the singles, it makes sense that this is kind of the direction they want to go in. So love Antimatter. Definitely came around on it a little bit more. Not that I felt like I was on the fence about it, but I do feel like I was a little bit more vindicated after listening to all the other singles and listening to that half the album already so far. So we are going to move into track 7, which is Signal. As I mentioned, I think this is one of the ones that they were playing live in a demo version, and it slapped. So for them to just kind of no pun intended, silently release this one, I was very surprised that they didn't give this one a lot more love. So I was a little surprised that this was going to be one of the singles, because it just felt like I know they released a single version of this, I believe. So I was just surprised that they kind of like were just like, okay, Signal's going to be on here. All right, nice. And that's it, So we will get into Signal, because I don't think I did a reaction video to this one. So this will all be fresh a little bit, even though I've listened to this song already. A little fresh, not a lot. This guitar comes in and breaks my neck. Oh. I remember when they played this one live. Hell broke loose. Oh, this song rips. Oh, so sick. Super heavy. Love this track. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. my god, so sick. All right, guys, that was Signal from Silent Planet. Yeah, I really like this one. I was very surprised, and I like somebody can correct me in the comments or in the chat. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they released Signal earlier, but then like took it off possibly, and then just like Shadow released it with, I think it was with Collider, I'm pretty sure, as like another song. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure. I do know that they did play this as a demo song, but this I felt like would have probably been a good song to lead this album off with, in terms of like the release. I think it would have been really cool if they wind up jumping into this song, because I do feel like it is kind of like a good midpoint between When the End Began and, or not When the End Began, Iridescent. I don't know why I keep saying When the End Began, because for some reason I can't remember Iridescent came out. I feel like this is the perfect middle ground between Iridescent and Superbloom. I think it would have been a really great song that they should have, I would feel like they should have pushed a little bit more, because I think it blends that sort of old styling of Iridescent, but also kind of giving like tells to the new release, which is this one. So I think it would have been nice if maybe they released this one, then Antimatter, then Collider, and then Anuki. I feel like that would have been really cool. But yeah, surprised that this one was just a surprise release. That was pretty much what I was getting at. I don't know what I was trying to go for. It's been a long day at work, but and I have more albums to review, which I'm stoked about. But yeah, I felt like this one was just like their heavy ripper song that just like Gary goes like absolute ape shit doing this one live. So I feel like this was the one that I was like, man, if they put this on an album, it's gonna crush, you know. And I feel like, again, not surprised, and just to have it after Antimatter and before Anuki, I'm just stoked, because I already know what an Anuki sounds like, so I know it's gonna be heavy. So it's very interesting to see where they've been placing a lot of these songs in terms of the placement for the singles, which is weird because they placed 3 songs back to back to back as singles, and obviously Collider closer to the beginning of the album. So very interesting in hindsight, but yeah, I love this one a lot. Really, a lot more screaming. The ending part of the song really surprises me a ton every time I listen to it, because it kind of gives me a little bit of Loathe vibes, and also like a little bit of a precursor to Clean Singing, which I was surprised about, and they didn't kind of like announce that, I guess, because they didn't even really do a lot of clean. I don't think Garrett did any of the cleans on this song he did live, so maybe they were trying to keep this a little bit of a secret. Maybe they were trying to work it in. I don't know. But it's interesting to look back at this song specifically, because I think there's a lot of different hands in the cookie jar at the time. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one was just kind of like, well, we have a really heavy song, we want to throw it on, and like here we are at, and we're gonna tease a little bit of Clean Singing. So we're gonna throw that in the end. If you get the Easter egg, cool. You heard it first. If not, then whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I think this one is great. I loved when it released, and I still love it now. It's one of those songs that anytime it comes up on my gym playlist, I'm just like gonna go throw the weights through the wall. So pretty stoked. But the next one is an Anuki. I'm pretty sure, again, I'm gonna butcher this song a ton, and I feel like they just do it to mess with me. So we're gonna move it on to track 8, and we're gonna get into this one. So really stoked, even though I've already listened to it. Oh, that like fucking snare to hi-hat rip, straight beat. Oh, so sick. And then that like dissonant lead line in the top. Oh. blast beat section. Oh, this hits. This little like electronic drum fill. Love it. Oh. I just want to say, I feel like a broken record, but I've really honestly been enjoying this entire album. But I feel like this one is just like the quintessential, we need a really dumb, stupid, heavy song. Do you think we can do it? We'll do it on this album. This is it. This is the stupid, heavy song that everybody loves. So big shout outs to Silent Planet. Anuki. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of saying that every single time, but I'm just gonna say that's what it is. So if I'm wrong, cool. If I'm right, cool. If like I feel bad I'm fucking it up, but I'm not gonna try to pronunciate it correct. I can't do it. I'm just really dumb. But getting back to the song, you know what else is dumb? These riffs. This song is stupidly heavy, but stupidly heavy in the best way possible. I think they really came up with a song that just has a lot of great like charisma and energy to it. I think this allows not only I think Garrett to shine like vocally, which a lot of the songs I feel like do, but I think this song specifically does a great job of showing off the interplay between Alex and I forget Mitch. I was gonna completely blank. I think this shows a really great interplay between Alex and Mitch, because I think the way that they write, at least the way I feel like Mitch writes his riffs, I think that they both counterbalance each other in such a unique way, where some of like the way that, especially the way that some of the drumming is shaped out in the record, I think is ultimately influenced by what a lot of what Alex does writing wise, or Mitch does writing wise. I don't know why I said Alex. That's my roommate. Shout out to Alex. But I think that this does a really good mix of throwing in those sorts of riffs in a way that, to me, is really just fun. I think this is a song that I always put on in the gym just because I, again, very similarly to Signal, just want to throw whatever Planet Fitness bench through the fucking doors, and I'm going to do it because that's what I feel. But this song is really awesome, really heavy. If you're looking for like an ignorantly heavy song, then this is it because you found it. Congratulations, you found the heavy song. You don't win anything, but I'm just here to tell you this is a dumb, heavy song. But yeah, love this one a ton. Big shout outs to Silent Planet for putting on probably one of the... This one I feel like would be really fun to see live. I don't think he played this one live yet, but man, this one rips, and I love it. So big salutes to Silent Planet. Again, keep saying it. But yeah, breakdown's rad, the riffing rad, and the overall is just a fun time. So big ups to this one. But the next track is track number 9. This is the Overgrowth. So let's give this one a spin. I'm surprised you're watching this, Alex. Maybe a little bit, not a lot though. Ooh, this is weird. Okay. Oh, I like this like ethereal guitar backing. Really nice. Ooh. Nice. Okay. What are they gonna do next? Ooh. Yeah. All right. All right, Garrett. Oh, this low end is wild. This was very unexpected. Very surprised by this track. All right, guys, that was The Overgrowth. This is off of Silent Planet's newest album, Superbloom. If you like it, check the links below. Go pick it up if you can. Go support the guys. I love Silent Planet. Big ups to those guys. This song was different, which I'm all about, because I feel like Anuki is that song that is just like the heavy song, and to have like a nice like a little bit more of a reprieve is always nice. I love that. You know, you got to have a little bit of a break. But I really enjoyed this song specifically because I think the dynamics of the track is really cool. Specifically the way that they play with space. I've often said about their music in the past. I think the first album I reviewed was Everything Was Sound, and I've pretty much reviewed every album since. I don't know if I reviewed Iridescent or not. I don't think I did, but I really enjoyed that album. I think it was like during my period where I took a break, so I probably didn't cover that one, but we're back with another Silent Planet video, which is really sick. But yeah, this one was really cool. I like the kind of ethereal elements they brought in this track. I loved a lot of like the bass focused portions of this song. I thought that was really sick. It kind of adds a different kind of low end, and the way that Mitch kind of does a lot of the clean guitar voicings is really sick. Very ethereal, very clean. Love that. And then you got some like really heavy like metal shit in the middle, which I was very surprised about, and like dynamically takes the song in an interesting direction and then kind of settles out and then brings you back up again. It's very much a roller coaster, and I just really enjoyed this one a lot. It was very dynamically fun, and I think it shows off like the way that they play with space super well. So I think this one was just a really fun track to get into, and just enjoyed this one. It was a little bit different and a complete departure from the previous song. So very sick. The next one is track 10, which is Nexus. So very excited to get into this one because I feel like the Overgrowth kind of bled into this one. So let's give it a listen. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Ooh, that low end. Ooh. All right. I like the way the vocals are stacked this part. Ooh. Get a little space. Ooh, I like the way the drums are set in this. The effects, really nice. Oh my god. Are you getting a nasty breakdown? Let's go. Oh, that was gnarly. I love it. This was great. This one. Good choice, Mark. All right, guys. That was Nexus. This is off of Silent Planet's newest album, Superbloom. I really enjoyed this one a lot. This one was really heavy, really aggressive. What I've come to love about this album thus far, I feel like they really doubled down on the heaviness. Like, there's something specifically about this album. And again, we have 2 more songs to get into, so I'm sure the party is not over yet. But I do appreciate them going very easily. I feel like they could have just gone super heavy, right? And I feel like that was probably what I feel like most people were expecting, at least, just again after Thomas leaving. But I do feel like they've done a great job of finding kind of that middle ground of having a lot of heaviness, but not feeling that they always need to rely on being that heavy band. So I think that they definitely have a lot of songs on this album that are like really heavy, a lot of it being just Garrett screaming, which is great. And I love those songs, but I also feel like the songs that are kind of on the in-betweens, I think I enjoyed just that much more, because I think it shows off of not only Garrett's skill as a vocalist and how much he's improved over the years, year over year. I feel like it also shows the growth of the band, because I think sonically, if you go back and listen to like some of the like older albums that they've done, they sound so different, and I think that they've just improved over time. Last Sleep was like when I first originally found out about them, and just kind of continued on and just like kept listening to them. And with each release, I'm always just really excited to delve into it, because I think they really truly put a lot of heart and soul into each record that they've done, and this is surely no exception to that. But yeah, this one was really heavy, really riffy. I love a good riff. You all know that. I'm a riff connoisseur. I love a good riff, and I feel like this song's got a good riff in it. Count how many times I said riff in the comments. But this one was really fun. A lot of it, I think, shows off of, again, very similarly to comments I've made before. I think that both Alex as well as Mitch. I was right. I don't know why I said Alex as if I didn't know who it was. Alex is their drummer. But I feel like it's kind of a mix of them just really interplaying and showing off their skills even that much more so. Just kind of being, again, more of the primary songwriters in that aspect. So I love the way that they really work out some of the structures of those songs. I think it's really well done, and it utilizes not only Garrett's talents as a vocalist, but I also think the way that they all interplay with each other. So really enjoyed this song a ton, and I think this is probably one of the best representations of, I would argue, from the record that was released. So very, very just super heavy, but also like really melodic, and that's something that I think I will always come to love about this band, is the way that they're able to kind of put those melodic tendencies in a like unique vacuum that has like a lot of like reverb and a lot of like depth to it, or even just like complete, like, I wouldn't say silence, but definitely like moments where everything kind of cuts out, or like they have moments where they spotlight something else or whatever. And I think it's really nice that they do that, because sometimes I feel like a lot of bands just want to put as much shit as they possibly can into a song, and that's great for some cases, but I think also in other cases, it's nice to hear that space, because I think it makes the dynamics hit a little bit more. It makes the drops hit a little bit more. It makes the drumming hit a little bit more. Like the way that they had like a reverse like reverb on like the drums, and like every instrumentation they like pulled in, super sick. And I think it shows that, again, that attention to detail, that production value, and the way that they're able to kind of like migrate the heaviness in a way that doesn't seem like they're just chopping at the same tree, So love that. And I think this song does a really great job of utilizing their skills as a unit. So we are going to move it into track 11 and 12. Reentry seems to me to be like an outro track. I want to listen to it and then also get into Superbloom, the title track of the album. So it'll be 11 and 12, guys. So let's get into them. I would skip it, Mark, but I'm beholden to a high standard of going through the entire album. So, and I like their intros, interludes, and outros. I couldn't think. It's all this. Shoutouts to Taco Bell's tea. I like this. This is nice. Very ethereal, as I mentioned before. I feel like this last song is gonna hit. Getting a little shoegazy? Okay. I haven't tried that one. I'll have to try it. I'm the $5 box guy. This isn't an ad placement for Taco Bell either. Ooh. Wow. Okay. This is not what I was expecting for the end of this album. I'm not mad. I'm just surprised. Ooh, was that pitched? Okay. Interesting. I think they're gonna hit me with a breakdown or like heaviness. This song's too long and for them to just do that. Okay, okay. Build in. Oh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. 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 Oh my god, this feels like it's like floating. That's great. Wow. Oh, this has to do with the accident they were in. That's crazy, and it feels like you're weightless. That's crazy. That's awesome. Holy shit! I just put that together live. Wow, what a send off! What a send off! Amazing. All right, guys, that was the title track of the highly acclaimed album Superbloom by the band Silent Planet. If you'd like to pick up the album or CD or merch or whatever, you can check the links in the description. But man, I was a little unsure about this track, if I'm going to be honest, but I really came around to it. I think more specifically because I was really surprised that they really went full bore on just having Garrett sing. I didn't think that was going to happen, so I was very shocked on that. The beginning feels very like shoegazy, very like vibey, very ethereal, as I mentioned before, with re-entry and like a little bit of Nexus. But I was really surprised by this track. I genuinely, I think it just genuinely shows how diverse and how versatile Garrett has become as a vocalist. And I think, again, as I mentioned, just just listening to this band for as long as I have been, just to see his growth has been amazing. And I'm not saying that the rest of Silent Planet doesn't deserve some praise, because I feel like Mitch and Alex both are fantastic musicians and they deserve a lot of love. But I do feel like Garrett really took the mantle of trying to just improve all around, whether it be the screaming aspect of things, the singing, both, a combination of those two things. And I think he really, I think he put his best foot forward. I could hardly argue against any of this stuff. Like, and to, again, have something, for those who aren't familiar with probably the reasoning or the metaphor or the lyricism behind this track, these guys got into a horrible van accident, and they could have probably died, if I'm going to be completely frank. Touring is a very difficult thing, and so, they could have not been making music. And I think that this song, especially towards that like build up, and like metaphorically comparing that to, like, I imagine those moments before that accident was going to occur, you can feel like that sort of intense nature of like getting ready to see this all happen, unfold, and then like that really cool kind of let out, and then they have this really kind of expansive, almost like weightless sort of feeling, especially at the end of the track. It makes you feel like you are just floating through the air, and I think it's very evocative of that sort of feeling that I imagine if you get into, God forbid, I hope none of you get into a car accident, but I imagine it probably has a similar feeling to that. And so I can't speak from experience, but I feel like that's probably pretty close to what they were trying to go for sound wise. And while I feel like they delivered on that, certainly, I was definitely surprised at the way that they kind of came around to it. And you saw in real time, I was literally like, oh my God, it makes sense now. But it was really cool to experience this one live specifically, and I'm so glad that they were fine and they made it out, relatively unharmed. And I think this is just a really cool send-off to the album. I love that Garrett did a lot more clean singing, and then towards the end of the song is doing more of the screaming. Really, really sick. But I just think it really, 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 really awesome, in the way that, again, that they put it together was amazing. And I just love the metaphor behind the accident, and the way that they kind of put it into, I would argue, musical form. And as well as that, I love the way that the like instrumentation lined up. I love the kind of ethereal elements that they included in this track. I think this is probably one of my favorite uses of the way that they've incorporated a lot of the electronic elements throughout this entire album. I think they've done it super, super well, specifically with this track. Really puts you in that feeling, and I think that the way that they had it all structured out really kind of makes you feel like you're living within that moment. So, really proud of what Silent Planet has been doing over the years. I just feel like they are always constantly chugging at it, and any opportunity that I have to try to spotlight it, I know also as well as this. Shout outs to Rachel Reacts. She's also really fantastic, and I know she probably reviewed this album as well, and along with a lot of other great content creators as well. So if you don't like mine, there's plenty of more to go check out, certainly. So please go show them some love. But this is a really, really great record. I have been looking forward to this album for quite a bit, and I know that I'm probably going to be listening to this a lot now. I would definitely say some of my favorite songs off the album. I think I definitely have to include, and this is in no particular order, but I loved Offworlder. I think that was a really fantastic track. I'd also say Dreamwalker I really enjoyed. Track 8, I'm not going to try saying it. I believe it's Anuki. I'm just going to... That's about as close as you're going to get out of me. So that song specifically. And I really loved Nexus and Superbloom. I think more specifically, I think Superbloom takes the cake. It kind of is not as heavy. I feel like the heaviness is kind of like the after piece, especially towards like the second half of the part of this song. But I love the kind of more like shoegazy, like feely sort of beginning part, and then really tying it all in towards the end. I think it's aptly named as being the title track of this album, and I think it does a really good job of putting this album into perspective. So really enjoyed this one a ton, and if you haven't gone to check out Silent Planet, I think this is probably a pretty good starting point. As much as I love all of the Mitch albums, or not Mitch, Tom albums, which he was in Iridescent, that was the last album he was in. I really feel like this is probably the new chapter for them. So if you want to jump into this band, this is probably a good album to start off with and then work your way back. But yeah, shout outs to Silent Planet. They're awesome people. If you have the opportunity to talk to Garrett, he is one amazing human being. So the rest of the guys are also really cool too. I've met Mitch a couple times, and as well as that, I've also met Alex maybe like once or twice. But yeah, big salutes to the guys. Super proud of them. And I'm excited to see what's next. Hopefully another tour. I'm hoping I can see him this time around. I imagine they'll be coming back to play Philly soon. So really excited. But if you haven't checked out Silent Planet yet, links in the description. Go give them some love. I will probably be shutting this down for like 15 minutes and then coming back and then doing a whole nother album. So if you are watching this live, tune in like 15 minutes. I'll probably be doing another one, and I have a couple more that I will be doing tonight. So if you love music and you like this stuff, make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. It means a lot. Share it, subscribe. That'd be amazing. Mark, thank you for joining me as always. Yeah, hope to catch you in the next video, which is soon, in like 15 minutes.